Hello and welcome to this special interview. My name is Dr. Katrina Pears and I'm the Research Coordinator for the ME Association. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Dr. Luis Nacul for our announcement of our investment into an important clinical trial in Canada to test the potential benefits of low-dose naltrexone. Dr. Luis Nacul is the principal investigator for this clinical trial at the University of British Columbia. The purpose of this interview is to meet researchers involved and ask some questions about the trial. So firstly, I would like to ask and to explain to our supporters that the funding that the ME Association is providing here is to carry out research that has already started in British Columbia. Is that correct, Louis? And what have you done so far?
Yes, good morning. Thanks very much for having me. The study has been funded by the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, or CIHR, which is a sort of Canadian equivalent of the Medical Research Council in the UK. We have started a trial. We recruited approximately 40% of our total sample, which expect to be 160. And of those, half of them will be receiving the low-dose naltrexone, and the other half will be receiving the placebo.
Okay, thank you, Louis. So with this additional funding that we're now providing you, what do you hope to do next?
Well, the funding will support the recruitment and follow-up of the remaining participants. Most of our recruitments have been from patients from the COVID recovery clinics, but with the closure of all but one of these clinics in British Columbia and the reduction in numbers of people referred to the clinic, we are now moving to also recruit from other sources within the province. We hope to be able to recruit a full sample by the end of summer and have all follow-ups completed before the end of this year, when we'll move to breaking the code and analyzing the results.
Wow, thank you. And can you explain what's exciting about this trial and why a randomized, double-blinded placebo-controlled trial is the gold standard?
Yeah, unfortunately, there are no specific evidence-based treatments for long COVID nor for ME. These are debilitating, life-changing diseases, as we all know, so search for treatments are highly needed. We have been using naltrexone in low doses for patients with ME, CFS, and fibromyalgia in clinical settings, as are many other clinicians around the world. And some positive results have come out of this use. There is some evidence of efficacy from research studies, particularly for fibromyalgia, but there has been, to our knowledge, no research done or no proper clinical trials done with long COVID presenting as ME. So yes, double-blind randomized clinical trial is the gold standard for treatment efficacy, and that's what we are applying in this study. It's exciting that this is an important trial for the reasons I just expressed, but also naltrexone is pretty safe, especially when used in low doses, as we do in this trial. And the drug itself is inexpensive, although there is a need for compounding to lower doses, which has some costs.
That's really exciting and hopefully good news for people with ME/CFS. Can you tell us more about low-dose naltrexone and how you think it works at reducing symptoms associated with ME/CFS and long COVID?
Sure, naltrexone is an opioid antagonist. So this means that in doses often used in clinical practice, it blocks receptors to opioids and prevent opioid action. In low doses, however, naltrexone may interact differently with the opioid receptors, and we believe it actually stimulates the production of endorphins, which are natural opioids that our body produces. Low-dose naltrexone also targets immune cells in the brain, which we call microglial cells, and may reduce brain inflammation in those with ME, CFS, and long COVID. So that's the hypothesis on the mechanism of action of low-dose naltrexone and how it might work in this population.
Thank you. So I'm sure everyone wants to know, but for those patients who will be receiving the placebo, what will actually be in those tablets they'll be receiving?
Right. So what happens in the trial? The medication is given in capsules in increasing doses. So we start with 1 milligram per day of naltrexone and then gradually go to 4.5. And this means the trial participants will be receiving different number of capsules or strengths at different times during the study. The same exactly will apply to those receiving placebo, except the capsules will not contain the active drug, or there'll be no naltrexone. They'll look exactly the same as the other active capsules or the active drug capsules, so that neither us as researchers nor the person taking the treatment trial will know which one they're taking. So what happens is that, like with the active drug, there will be an increasing number of capsules, so changing capsules from one type to another to represent the equivalent of a stronger dose. And this will happen at regular points during the trial.
Thank you. So thank you for that answer. Obviously, you have a lot of work to do, and hopefully a lot of exciting results will come out of this clinical trial. So if the study achieves everything you're looking for, what do you hope to do next?
We hope the study will answer the following main question. Does it help improving symptoms in those with long COVID of the ME subtype? If the results are positive, I expect a move towards wider use of low-dose naltrexone for long COVID and also for ME CFS due to other causes, such as those cases of ME triggered by other infections, for example. If, on the other hand, low-dose naltrexone is found to be no better than placebo, then this will be equally important, though less exciting, of course, as this will direct us to concentrate efforts on other treatments. Another possible scenario is that we observe an effect in some, but not all individuals in the study receiving the low-dose naltrexone. This will allow us to explore if there are, or if there is any subgroup of people that may benefit from LDN, and then target treatment to that specific subgroup that are likely to respond to treatment. So pretty much we want to know, does it work? Does LDN work for this population and for all of them or for a subgroup of them? So that's the question we want to answer as part of the study, and then of course try to translate that into clinical practice.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your time. It's been really interesting to speak to you, and I hope that we can have an update and another video, an interview, as the clinical trial progresses. Thank you again.
Well, thanks very much to you, and I look forward to continuing this work and to touch basing with you in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.